What's your name? What's your name? Sabo? That's different. What's your name? What's your name? Sabo? Ooh, that's different. What's your name? What's your name? Zabo? Ooh, that's different.
No Days Off radio production with the number one show in the land. Nothing but the truth. All right. Okay. Hope everybody having a good Friday. And hope everybody had a good day at work today. For those who worked, who did go to work. And hope everybody having a nice and safe ride home. And you're hoping you had a good day at work and having a good Friday. And hopefully for the weekend, you'll have a good weekend. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hopefully, we'll have more people joining in as we go, as usual. So today's show
Show.
is about
Well, guys, we have it for the title today. And the reason for the title today, which this is our 67th episode, and we were going to speak about fathers and why men should come together and be more supportive in raising their children. And of course, Big Jeff has a wealth of knowledge and experience in that area. I have very little, but I do have some experience in that area.
yeah. all mothers have good experience in that area. All of them do. Especially if you're a single mother raising kids. you have a y'all have more experience in that than men who are not single parents, because we got men who are single parents as well, you know, but we don't have it, we don't have it as tough. And I'm being real when I say this. I don't think we have it as tough as the mothers that are raising kids alone. Because we as men, we have a lot of options when it comes down to being a single parent raising your kids. And what I mean by that is for true fathers, and I want everybody to listen to what I'm saying more than just hearing something and then, you lose conscience. For those of us who are single fathers, we can have a multitude of young ladies or young women, in our lives, well, women, period, in our lives, to where we can have multiple women in our lives opposing to these single mothers who can also have multiple men in their lives, but the way that their mindset has been trained, they would not do that. So that's why I say we have more support than they do. And I'm saying that to say, you have women who are single mothers
Right.
raising kids that has this belief, and I'm I'm against that belief, but at the same time, I understand that belief. And that belief is they won't allow a man that they are dating to come to their house on a right now note. Like when they first meet them or first decide to start talking to them or dating them, they have this thing of, well, I'm not gonna take a man around my kids, this, that, and the third in the beginning of the relationship. And I don't agree with that for one particular reason.
What's that?
And the reason I don't agree with that is because your kids are your lifelines. And if you're dating a man, to where when I say dating, I mean you done made the decision to talk to this man, go out on a date with this man, and hopefully it goes deeper. That's the man your children need to meet ASAP
Why?
because you are in a man's company that no one knows of. So for your protection, your kids need to know more so than anybody who you're with, where you at with this person, what you're doing with this person, how you carrying yourself with this person at all times. Because, we got to, like I say all the time, we got to practice what we preach. We got to practice what we have been taught by our parents. When we was growing up, and now, I'm not going to just say when we were growing up. You got some parents who do that right to this day. When their child starts participating with people outside the house, your parents tell you they want to know everywhere you're going. They want to know who you're going with. They want to know what type of household they coming from. They want to know what type of people you hanging out with, this, that, and the third. And that goes for us too. Even though we are their parents, and if we dating outside, and we decide that this is a person that we're going to be dating, your kids need to meet the person that you are dating.
How soon?
Day one.
Why?
Day one of you. They need to meet this person. Listen to what I'm saying, everybody. They need to meet this person day one of you making the decision to say that this is the person that I'm about to be dating right now. Not on the first day that you meet them and have a conversation. When you decide, that's why I say listen to what I'm saying. When you decide that you're going to go to that next level with this person, your children need to meet that person right then. Right then. They need to have this person's telephone number. They need to know where this person live at. They need to know where this person work at. They need to know they need to know the entirety of this person. Because you have had time. You have had time from the day that you met this person to the day that you decided to actually date this person on a relationship note, or again to be to a relationship note, to have found out everything I just named about that person. A lot of that shit is known. A lot of those questions are answered through the first conversation. So there's no way you can say 3 months from now I'm about to decide to start actually dating this person, and now I want to know where they work at. Now I want to know what their whole name is. Now I want to know, everything about this person. No, those are questions that you ask day one of even having a conversation. I agree. Because we as men, we ask those questions day one of having a conversation with you. And we had that, and it's natural. It's natural that we as men ask that question because our slick asses, we really just testing the water to see how far we can go with the conversation. So that's a known, that's a known cliche for us to do upon talking to a woman. As soon as we as men approach a woman, after we tell her how good she look and ask her what her name is and this, that, and other, the next question be asked is, you got any children? Where you work at? What kind of work you do? How many children you got? 3? Oh, okay. See, some of us like me, I'm used to the pitter pats. I'm used to ready-made families. So when you got some women who'll kick the bull and say, well, I got 5 children, that's the chump off to me. But you can't tell Big Jeff you got 5 children because Big Jeff got 100 children. Big Jeff done raised 100 children. Big Jeff done been in families with multiple quadruple children. So to tell Big Jeff, I got 10 children, Big Jeff gonna say to you, oh, that's all? To where some men gonna take off running right now. Yeah. So we're aware that some of these questions that we ask y'all, especially when it come down to your kids and your work and especially where you stay at, y'all gonna give us a brush off.
Absolutely.
Y'all gonna give us a brush
Well,
off,
it
and
depends. It depends.
you know, and we understand that. We as men, we already know they expect this. So it's not you're not fooling us. We expecting that because you got to understand, man. This ain't the first woman. You are not the first woman that a man have approached to try to talk to. You know, or get to know, however it go. You know, so it's not a game. We acknowledge it as a game because you know throughout the questionnaire, both parties are putting a little smirk on their face, you know, for humility. You know, some of us are being humorous to some of us, you know, because we expecting it. We're expecting these questions to be asked that way. So it's not that you're fooling us, you know, ladies. Y'all are not fooling us because what women need to understand, and some of you all understand, and some of you don't. For this, so this is for the women who don't. Whether you understand it or not, men like the challenge. We like that. We like the throw off. We like for y'all to put us in a position to feel like y'all resisting arrest. That makes us go even harder. Especially if we have the interest. Now, if we don't feel like being bothered with that crap you finna say to us that day, we let you have it. And we'll walk on going about our business. You know, and we take that loss. We take that L. You know, so it's not a game. So I want you ladies to understand that when a man show you some interest, man, see where you coming from. It don't cost you nothing to talk.
If I know off the bat that you're not my type, I'm not interested, why would I waste your time and mine?
Just say it.
I would just say hello.
Say it. Speak, and then if they try to go further, I ain't interested.
Yeah.
I ain't interested. You know, I'm on something else right now. You know, let them down easy.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Let them down easy,
Like
man.
y'all rude.
Stop the pursuit right there. You know what I'm saying? But don't you know? Cause we as men, man, if we speak to a woman and she speak back and keep it moving, we gonna leave it alone 9 times out of 10. But if we speak to you and you say, "Hey, how you doing?" and we say, "Hey, man, I'm doing good. How you doing? How was your day today?" You know, we can throw something at you and keep you talking. Hey, man, that light come on in our head. Oh, boy, I'm in. I might have a shot. So we're going to keep the pursuit going. It's normal. That's natural. Until you cut it off is when we going to stop. You know, so think about the metaphor. Think about the metaphor. You know I love metaphors. Think about the metaphor that y'all will say to somebody else. A man or a woman is only going to go as far as you let them. You got to remember that. That got to be in your mindset. If you keep giving us the conversation, we going to keep going.
If you're interested, right?
Whether you're interested or not. You might be trying to let him down easy by just trying to, okay, I'm going to, just say something to him and then I'm just going to try to ease on off. But if he keep pursuing, you got to tell him ain't no interest.
Right.
You got to tell him.
So do you all ever say to a female that you're not interested?
Thank you. If you tell a female you ain't interested, she might be, we got to understand now. It go both ways. Some men can't stand rejection. Some women can't stand rejection neither. So you might tell a woman, "Oh, hey, babe, I ain't you ain't my type," or I ain't interested, or you know I'm saying something about her, whatever. She know she gonna take it as a chump off. All of us do that. All people do that. Now, if she get pursuant and say, well, okay, then, you know, this, that, and the third, she might insult your ass. You can't be offended because sometimes when a woman reject a man, he insult her right now. So it go both ways. That's part of the chase. We as men, that's in us to chase. That's amen. That's something that God has in us. We gonna pursue as long as you entertain it. You know, so therefore, you got to be suggestive to say, okay, if I ain't interested, I'm gonna cut it off. You know, and hopefully he go away or she go away. You know, and that leads to what the topic of this of this show is about tonight. Now you are caught, you know, if you get caught in a situation, cause you know sometimes men can catch women at the right time and say something to them, and you know, according to what they're going through or dealing with, or you know what could be going on with them at that point, they'll open up and release themselves. And then, you know, you get with this man and, you know, things happen and y'all wind up creating a life. But before y'all create this life, something happens and somebody color show. Color showing mean you see something in this person that you didn't think was in this person. What is the male or the female? And now you feeling like, damn, did I make a mistake? Or did, you know, do I really want this? Now, it's too late. Because she done found out she pregnant. Or she may feel like, well, I care about this cat. Or he might say, I care about this woman. And try to deal with it. Talk it out, try to get an understanding, the whole 9 yards. And it just don't click. You know, but at the same token, you all have been in each other's lives, man. And now you see that maybe we didn't have enough conversation. Maybe we didn't, you know, maybe we might have went a little too fast. Or, you know, maybe we might have should have thought things out a little bit more before we decided to, you know, get together on this note. Cause sometimes, you know, we just dating can be real good until we decide we're gonna be in a relationship. A relationship to me is a marriage. That's me. A relationship to me is a marriage. You know, that's why I don't feel like, you know, going across the altar ain't necessarily got to be a marriage. You know, you ain't got to live a marriage life because you go across the altar. When you start being in a relationship with a person in an intimate way, as a boyfriend, girlfriend, you know, fiancés or husband and wife, you know, we all use these terms for status when we dealing with people. And then somebody said, well, how long y'all been married? He said, no, we just dating. It's just, you know, we've been dating for a while. That's a marriage. That's a marriage. Because if either one of you violate the rules, it's consequences. You know, the rules of, you know, as y'all say, cheating, you know, messing around, food. I call it two people being grown, they make the decision to do what they want to do.
Actually, what if you just
So,
homie, lover, friend? What if you're not taking it as
That should be discussed. That should be understood. But when you have that conversation, then y'all supposed to live up to that. If both people agree that we just kicking it or we just dating or whatever and there's nothing serious like that, then guess what? Now both people gotta respect the agreement. That's a contract. So don't say it and don't mean it. Cause see, when you say things like that and both parties agree to it, you can see me out and I'm with another chick. You gotta accept that.
And don't be trying to, right.
You understand? You gotta accept that because this is an agreement that we made on our being in a relationship together as friends who are dating. You know, as y'all say, metaphor again, friends with benefits. We got to live up to it. We got to live up to it. You know, because a lot of things can happen in the process, like kids. Now we have a better relationship, but we have brought other people, other lives into it. So now the child becomes a pawn in the chess game because both parents are using the child for a prize. That's when things get to a level to where now somebody loses interest in saying, okay, even though we are not together, even though we are in a bitter, situation with each other, we still got to raise this child together. 9 times out of 10, the male becomes the absent party.
Right.
Then, once that happens, he's excluded from the child's life because the mother is bitter. Or if the child is with the father, it's because the father is bitter. So now, that's that hidden love y'all have for each other. That's that hidden love. And instead of y'all having that discussion about it and say, well, hey, man, because we ain't together, we still gonna raise this child together. Y'all use the child and make the child become the judge and the jury. Now the kid grows up and learns how to play the both sides against the middle game. Because both parents are saying negative things to this child about each other, to where the child learns that my mom and dad hate each other, they don't like each other, they don't care to deal with each other. So now the kid figure out a way to use that to their advantage. We can't keep letting that happen because we're losing these kids, man. We losing these kids to just something that mediocre. Then there's 10 years later, and the child off the chain. Because the parents were so defiant against each other, they never sat down and said, but we got another life that we are responsible for together. It's 10 years later. Now it becomes a problem because the mother has been doing the fatherly work for 10 years. And as soon as she goes to trying to make it right with you, you more worried about what relationship she damn in than the child. Yeah. And vice versa.
Do you think that's a maturity thing, or you think age doesn't matter?
Age don't have nothing to do with that. Age does not have anything to do with responsibility. And I'm saying that for this purpose. You got some people 50, 60, 70 years old that are still not responsible. You got some people 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, 30 years old, that's 100% responsible.
That's true.
So the age don't have nothing to play, have no play in that.
I think the maturity level does.
You know, the maturity level comes when, you know, your maturity starts when you learn how to accept things. To me, that's my opinion. When you learn how to accept things and try to figure out how to deal with it, that's maturity. That's when you are doing mature things. That's when you're thinking mature. That's when you're acting mature. When you accept things that you have to deal with, which is responsibility, you gonna mature anyway. Cause you ain't got time to keep bullshitting.
Exactly.
Life done kicked in. You know, as we say, metaphor again, shit just got real. It's done got real now. You know, so we got to start being more supportive to both sides. Because like I say, it's men who are out here being single parents as well as women.
Very few, but I do know a couple.
So we got to support each other when it comes down to these kids.
But you also, I think one of the main factors is also the person that you choose when your relationship breaks up with your child's mother or your child's father. The next person who you're with has to be of good character. You can't get no mess and put them around your children.
And that's why I say I understand why women say and do what they say and do when it come down to that. Because that's what they're really doing. They're really protecting their children, because they don't want to have somebody around their children that acknowledge them and then it be somebody foul.
Exactly.
I get that.
Or, cause too, when you first meet people, everybody has their best face on.
That's right. It always start
So
off good.
that's one reason why I don't. When I date, I don't even bring my date to my
But
house.
see, it is, don't misunderstand. I'm not talking about as far as bringing them to your household. I'm saying if that's even
Somebody
more.
I'm serious with.
That's
Yeah.
now is if you all decide that you're not going to bring a man around your kids, this, that, and the other on the beginning.
Mhm.
I respect that. But what I'm saying is, I don't care what's going on. If you going somewhere with a person, somebody needs to know who
I
it is
totally agree.
and who they are, the whole 9 yards.
Even now, I with my adult
Especially now.
with my adult child, I tell him a billion times, you feel like I need your location to spy, and that's totally not it. 9 times out of 10, even when I have his location, I call him and say, "Where you at?" You're like, really,
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
yeah, because I don't have time to go look on there.
yeah,
If it was something important or something urgent situation, then I would like to have the security of knowing that I can log on there and see where you are.
yeah.
But
And at the same token, what's wrong with you calling and asking? It shouldn't be nothing wrong with that either.
yeah,
And that's why we have to make the kids understand as well. It's no different than him saying, "Mama, where you at?"
yeah,
You understand? You can look at my location too. But you decided to call me and ask me where am I.
exactly.
So if you wanna be respected for that, then you got to get a respect for it. It go both ways.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I'm saying? And these are our children. We are their parents. So that rule right there go for both sides,
Both sides.
not just one side.
It don't.
You
Okay,
know,
so what
so
do you think about sharing your location with somebody in the family? It doesn't necessarily have to be your family.
ain't nothing wrong. That's
I
nothing.
mean, your children.
Somebody's supposed to know.
Yeah, somebody's supposed to know who you with, where appreciate
Thank
it
you.
all time.
You know,
Yes.
cause shit happens,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
never
shit
know.
happens. So somebody need to know you somebody need to know your whereabouts at all time,
Yep.
especially in this day and time, man. Especially now.
Mhm.
You know, just last night, just last night, they found a body
Mm.
in the street off of Cleveland Avenue, right between the Valero gas station and Crystals. That's somebody's loved one.
Sad.
Who knows who probably could have known that that person was in that area, or that that person something had happened to that person. Somebody need to know where you are at all time. I don't
Yes.
care what the situation is.
Yeah.
Somebody need to know, you know. But we got to we got to start being more supportive to each other as parents when it comes to these kids this day at this day and time. We got to. You know, these kids are lost right now.
Very much so.
They are lost. And I'm not talking about, let's not get it twisted. I'm not talking about just the kids who are being able to run amok in the street. I'm talking about the kids who are in the house, doing everything they have to do as far as being kids, going to school, this, that, and the other. They are lost too
Yep.
because they're not getting attention and they are actually in the household. It's all kids now are lost. And it's because they have too much free time, man. And nobody's paying them attention.
Mm.
Because, the kids of today, they are living a what I call a chump off life.
What do you call it?
That's a chump off life
Chop
that
off
they're living.
life.
Huh?
Chop off life. Thank
Thank
you.
you. And what I mean by chump off is they have an alternate the parents can use not to deal with their kids right in the household. And it's called a damn telephone or a video game.
Mm.
And we're all guilty of it.
You know, and I agree totally with you. But let me tell you this. My daughter's involved in a couple of activities at school.
Yep, that's good.
And, she's a majorette and she's also in honor classes. But there is a game that we had last night. So I was just looking at the cheerleaders, and do you know it costs over $1,000 for the children to
Participate.
participate in sports these
Yeah,
days? That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
And it's all because of the people who runs the programs.
Right? Like
You know,
that's ridiculous.
and like you say, it's ridiculous. But understand this, Anita. It's some schools. Now you talking about $1,000. It's some schools out there where the kids have to pay 15 to 2,000 or better dollars to participate in programs.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's ridiculous
That's
because
ridiculous.
all schools supposed to have a budget for every program. But we have to also understand that sometimes we as coaches will ask the team, you know, what y'all want. What y'all want as far as uniforms or of shoes or this, that, and the other. And these kids be asking for some high dollar shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the budget don't meet it.
I get it. I understand.
The budget don't meet it. So they want to look good. They want to dance good. They want to look good in the dance programs. They want to look good in the sports program. They want to look good in the band. All the programs they want to look good.
That's very, very true. But there is.
So a lot of that comes from what the kids be asking for.
That's true too.
You
But
know,
as adults, we need to. I think we need to revise some of these things.
we do, we do.
And
I
make it
agree.
more affordable.
I agree.
But I would like to shout out. I'm not gonna say her name. That's how well. I'll just say Miss Green. Shout out to Miss Green, my daughter's majorette coach, because she didn't make our expenses like um, unusual or
Because she's one out of 100
yes.
that's actually thinking about the kids. It's something, and like I say, man, sometimes these coaches can be on that petty shit. To where, okay, we gonna get this, we gonna get that, and this, that, and other, and then they hit you with a bill.
Mhm.
Hold on, I thought you said y'all were gonna get it.
Mhm. Yeah, we're gonna get it
You
too.
understand? The kids walk away with the mindset that the school gonna get it.
Uh huh.
So so
Can
you
you guys
know,
hear me now? My mic is off. Okay, hold on. My mic is off.
so a lot of times some of these coaches be going astronomical crazy with what they want to have for the team, but you don't want to put your money on it. You just want to tell the kids this what y'all gotta bring, and what we do a lot of times is we come up with when we get the total for how much everything is, we try to break it up among the coaches and the kids in the program. And then we'll say, okay, so everybody gotta pay this amount for us to get this, that, or the other. Ain't nothing wrong with that sometimes. But sometimes we gotta know how far to go, coaches, with these kids because they are coming. A lot of them, 99% of the time, are coming from single parent households that can't afford it, and it's because they don't have the support cast like that. You know, if we had a lot of fatherly participation in a lot of kids' lives, you know, then we might can make that work for them. We can probably make that a necessity to where both parents can, work it out. But you got to have that communication line. You got to have that open line, man, to communicate and understand that, hey, man, we really got to work together with raising this child or these children because these are our children. We can't keep playing the, you know, bitter parent roles around these kids or through these kids. It's not healthy for them. It hurts the kid or the kids. It hurts them. So, you know, let's figure out a way that let's try to figure out a way that we can come together as parents and say, okay, mom, listen, even though we ain't in the best of love with each other, what can we do to better the child? What can we do to keep this child from running our relationship? What can we do to keep this child from going astray together? Sit down, have the conversation. You know, let's raise our kid. Let's raise our kid together. And then once the kid gets to an age, hey man, it's on the kid.
That's right.
It's on the kid. So we can no longer, ladies and gentlemen, allow the kids to control the relationship because that's what you're doing. That's what we're doing when we do that.
And not to say that their opinions don't matter, but ultimately it is the adults' decisions.
Well, in certain things, the kid opinion don't matter.
Right.
They the child.
But I'm saying, like, for
You know.
instance, this weekend, I was telling you about the situation we were having.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, it's important to hear the children's view if they feel like they're being abused.
No, you hear them out. You
Yeah.
got to hear them out.
Yeah.
That's why I think that all families see back when I was in the family household, when I acknowledged to myself that it's a lot of things going on in the household, and I need to get a grip on it, or I need to find out what's going on, I'll call a family meeting with me, mom, and all the children, and then we sit down and we talk.
Right, right.
And we ask them what's going on in your life right now. What is going on with you right now? You know, and as usual, the kids gonna say, "Nan, I'm good," or "I ain't doing nothing." But they not aware that something might be done happen to where somebody done called my parents and put them up on something, and instead of them just coming out saying it, we call a group meeting. So everybody in the house can be a participant in the conversation.
Right, right.
Cause it don't take, but one thing I learned from coaching is it only takes one person to open up, and then it become a domino effect. I learned that from coaching, and we once went to a fellowship down at West Georgia College, and our football players, it was a football fellowship, and man, when I tell you those kids opened up, man, and to hear some of the stories that these kids have to tell will make your heart dissolve, not melt. It'll make your heart dissolve into so many pieces, man, to you'll actually feel like, you mean to tell me that this kid is living like this and being treated like this or treated like that, and yet they're still able to hold their heads up high, come to school every day, stay, within the means of their programs to participate and be a productive person in the classroom and on the field. And this kid is walking around with this inside of them. Hey man, that's a real hurting feeling for you to hear come out of a child. So that's why I strongly believed in having family meetings.
Yeah, we call it family intervention.
So once cause you don't know. You know what I'm saying? In today's day and time, you definitely don't know, because the kids, like I say, the parents have an option now not to deal with the kids because they got video games and telephones. I don't see where a 10 and under child should be walking around with a damn telephone. I don't see that. I don't, I have tried to give myself reasons. I have tried to listen to other people give reasons. And, I just can't, if a child go to school for 6 hours a day and something happens in the school, this is one of the excuses I had to eliminate. When they be in school and somebody have them and they need to call, hey man, if your child is in school and something happens to them to where a phone call need to be made, that child has a right to go to the office and say, I need to call my parent.
They don't always allow them
Now, if a teacher don't allow your child to do that, as soon as that child get home, guess what that child's supposed to tell you? You understand what I'm saying? That child's supposed to alert you on that, because that's one of their rights as a student in a school. That if they go through something and the adult supervisors can't take care of it, they should be allowed to call their parents.
Yeah, but they.
So if they deny your child that phone call, you supposed to have a problem with that.
They'll be amazed how many times that's happened.
But see, you can't be that lazy parent neither. And your child come home and tell you something, and you don't go up there and handle it.
That part.
Because that's what the school, that's what the school is. That's what the schools are aware of. That the parents are not coming to the schools because they can send you a letter home and say, "Well, your child can't come back to school for 2 days." You'll let them sit at home for 2 days.
Yeah. Some do.
Instead
I
of
don't.
trying
I'm
to
there.
find out why in the hell my child got to be at home for 2 days.
Yeah.
Go to the school.
Yeah.
I gotta go to work. Hey man, work is not that important to where you say, "Damn, my child."
Go to the school, definitely. Yeah.
You
My
know,
child know I'll pop up.
if your job has that type of policy to where they say, "Well, no, you can't go to the school because we need you to come to work." I know times get rough. I know things get to, being. Hey man, that's a ground that you can fight with your job. That's a problem that's a part of your life that you need to deal with. Your child having a problem.
I'm telling you.
And I know it's some jobs who would tell you, think about your job more so than what. Hey man, I done walked off a job like that because I'm not gonna let you use my job to hinder me from being a parent.
Can you hear me now?
Especially when it comes down to my children. Right or wrong, I'm showing up. Because our kids can tell us anything. They people now, they human. So that's why you can't allow the kids to control the situation, mom and dad. We got to be more supportive to each other when it comes down to raising the children. Period, really, to me. Yeah. We got to be more supportive, period, when it comes down to you having a life with another person.
My opinion has changed since the last time we had this conversation. Can you guys hear me? Is this mic working? I don't think it's still working. He told me to try that one. He told me.
Okay.
He said it was on, but I don't think it is. So guys, my opinion changed since the last time we had this conversation because, I normally had all good things to say, but I had a weird situation that just came up recently, and right now, I don't have anything good to say. I've tried my best.
Hey man, we got people listening. Give Shanita some advice here, everybody.
No, I already done took my own advice.
Okay. So it is
Right or wrong, it's only so far I am going to go and try to be a cooperative person with you. But when you cross certain boundaries, ain't no coming back.
That's right. And it's supposed, it should be like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it go both ways. But at the same time, man, when it's children involved, it's not a relationship with you and that person no more. Yeah. It's about being parents now. It's parenthood.
Okay, but what if one of the parents is okay? Well, I'll just put it out there. So
put it out there.
So my daughter's father knew why. Well, she not new. They've been married for a while now. This heifer, yep, I said heifer, called the school and pretended to be me and changed over my daughter's notifications to her email. So when the teachers were emailing me, I wasn't getting it. I just recently found out that she had did that. So yeah, we had a few choice words, and ain't no coming back from that now.
Well. First of all, she's not the person you had the child with.
Exactly.
Okay. Second of all, that's a conversation you should have had with her father, because to see if he was aware of that.
He was. That's how I found out.
And if he was aware of that being done, then he's supposed to handle that. That's for him, because that's in his household. That's not in your household. That's in his household. So he's supposed to handle that situation. Now, and on your voice, on your opinion of it, he's supposed to acknowledge to his better half that this is not a stranger. This is my child's actual mother. You can't step on those toes when it come down to our child. That's part of us being supportive of each other.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm
you're
saying?
supposed to.
You know, so you calling her, that's a no.
Kidding me.
Because she don't, no, you can't hold it against her because she was allowed to do that because it was knowingly done.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm
she
saying?
was being
So,
messy on purpose.
well, that's on him still.
It's on him, but sister girl,
That's on him still.
I gotta let you know as well.
You know, so now either you still got some hidden love. Like
Oh,
I say,
absolutely
it can be
not.
it still be some hidden love in there,
It's
y'all.
not,
It
it's
still
not.
it still be some hidden love in there now.
no.
So but that's how it can be taken. You know what I'm saying? I'm laughing about it, but that's how that can be taken to where now he can be calling you saying, "Oh, she think, man, you still dealing with
I
each
don't
other
care
cause
what
I
the
went
hell
cause
she
I
think."
wouldn't say this and say that to you." No, he ain't supposed to say something to you because you are that child's mother. He's supposed to say something to her because she's the half, not you. So that conversation supposed to took place with you and him,
Yeah.
and he's supposed to take it to her and let her know that she violated.
But the thing is, he was already at it.
Thank you.
She felt like she need to be at it.
Okay, that's
Lost
still,
her rabbit
but see
tail
that,
mouth.
that still come through him.
Yeah.
In the school, and sometime now, Shanita, we have to hold the school responsible for that
Right,
too.
because that's breaching
Because
my child's privacy.
thank you, because the school would tell you if you went to the school, well, we can't allow you to go back there and see the child or go to the classroom because of school policy, this, that, and other. So why is it that somebody can call the school and say, I am Miss So-and-so, so-and-so, and y'all respect it? Without saying, okay, are you her biological
Exactly,
parent? Are you her
exactly.
custodian parent?
Do you have legal,
Do
physical?
you have, there you go.
Do you have legal
So-
custody and physical custody of
So
this
some
child?
of that responsibility goes to the school
Show
as well.
documentation.
Thank you.
And they didn't, and
you
they
know-
sent her information.
So, and that's another thing that I hate about the internet. Everybody want to be lazy, because I call it lazy, because when you tell somebody, email it to me. Or, when it was in our era, it was a fax. That's a lazy way of doing something, man.
To say
No,
email it.
come in certain things, man, you need to come into the office to do. And that's one of them. If you're trying to put claim to a child to have the benefits of a parent, it shouldn't be a telephone call to make that decision.
We can't verify any identity over the phone.
Thank you. And much fraudulent shit going on in the society right
I'm
now,
very
man.
offended.
Come on now.
Uh-huh.
I would hate to see that person who did that. I would hate to see them working in a bank if they'll go for it that easy at a school.
I'm saying.
And
then the records clerk hasn't even contacted me back because I've actually called, and I'm actually going to put in a very large complaint with that because that is a
You supposed to.
complete breach of privacy.
You're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? And that's something else, ladies and gentlemen. We gotta start being knowledgeable of. How far can we take the situation when somebody violates us?
That part.
We gotta be willing to put the work in to make it right. And the kids the kids will see that they don't have an option now.
Well, I'm tell you what she really was mad about. She really was upset because her daughters, she was married too prior to her current marriage with my ex-husband. So her daughters and my daughter, they're around the same age. Now they become close because they're stepsisters.
Yeah.
So every other weekend they go with their father. Well, their father reached out to me and asked me to bring my daughter to hang out with them. So she's upset that the father and I are communicating and the
Yeah.
daughter. But like I told my ex-husband, I said this is a family that you chose for her.
That's right.
I didn't know these people. You welcome her into a family that already had kids her age, and now that she's close to the stepsisters, I
The
thought,
mother have a problem.
yeah, now she got a problem.
And that goes back to what I said a minute ago. That's his problem.
That's your problem.
Thinking he got
You
to be
better
the one
check
deal
that,
with that. So
right?
he has to be the one deal with that. You know.
Because I don't do
So,
drama.
So anything that's outside of your household that has something to do with her father, that's his responsibility. That's his issue. Those are his problems. So he got to put his big boy drawers on.
Playing down like he don't know what's going
You know,
on.
he gotta
Well,
put
what
it-
you call her? Cuz, why she called at school acting like she was me? Don't play with me like that.
Yeah, and he should, and he's supposed to straighten that and be done with it. Not you continue to stay on her. She's in the household with him. It's only so much you
She's
can
been
do.
warned.
Yeah, it's only so much. But you have to put some of that responsibility on the school too.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it has to be a level to where she's made to acknowledge that this is her mother. This is my husband's ex-wife's child that he created with her. This is his and her child. And she got to respect that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, she does.
Because at any given day, I guarantee you, if you ask him the $64,000 question, call and tell them that you are her children's father, and you want this, that, and the other, and see how would their fathers take it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we have to make them understand, it go both ways.
Go both ways.
See, she's not thinking like that. Evidently, she's not thinking like that because guess why? She knows she don't have to worry about him doing that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Then she gonna say, oh, and
'Cause she
then we have
running the show.
a comment from At Peace All the Time. She says she knows that it's not her child. It's about respect.
That's right.
Sound like she wears the pants in the house, and she do.
And a lot of men living like that. You right, Peace. A lot of, and if I don't know if you heard the last, a couple of shows ago, we had that conversation. That was the topic of how, men are dealing with women who, they respect the fact that they're in the household with the woman and her kids, but they neglect their own kids.
Right. You over there trying to be daddy
they let
daycare.
her, yeah, they let the woman narrate their relationship with their own kids, and that's weak.
Exactly.
That's weak, man. Because if I'm dealing with a woman and she can't accept my children, she's not gonna be with me. Well, I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna be with her.
She can still be with you.
She can still be with me, but I'm not gonna be with her. Because, we're a package deal too. I'm a package deal. I got kids.
Right.
So if you gonna deal with me, you gonna deal with what come with me, my baggage.
That part.
And it's the same way. So, and a lot of us men, we get caught up in that. And the reason we get caught up in that, and this is the main reason for that to happen to a man, is because we come into the relationship with deception, so we have to live up to the deception. I despise a
yes.
man that would tell a woman
Yes.
that I don't have no children.
But
Or
he know he has
I don't,
them.
and you got you got
Right.
9,000 children, man.
Yes. Like,
And then when you try to spring these children on this woman, and she make you feel like you smaller than the belly of a snake, you start trying to live up to that shit instead of saying, "Hey, baby, listen, I'm a package deal, point blank, period. Either you gonna accept it or you gonna move on. But I'm a package deal. I got children. How can you try to feed a woman a line that you don't have children, but you asked her how many children she had, and she said 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 12, 10, however many. You accepted it. Cause right then you had all the option in the world to say, well, baby, that's too many for me. I ain't trying to be in no family like that. We can just kick it if that's what you want to do. But I ain't trying to be stepdaddy. You know, I'm just interested in you. Damn the children. Fuck them kids. So, you know, we have the option like y'all do.
Yeah.
If a man tell you he got 3, 4, 5, 6, 20, 30, 40 children, hey man, that's up to you to continue to deal with him.
Right.
So if you continue the relationship, that means you will agree with what's going on.
What's going on?
So you got to be supportive now. You got to be supportive now. You got to make him continue. How can you, and sometimes I want to ask the women this question. This is a question I want to ask women. How can you, and I want y'all to listen to me now, listen to the question. How can you as a woman with kids allow yourself to be in a relationship with a man that has kids and you don't make him be a father to his children? I want to get that question asked. We're going to shoot the number out so y'all can call in and, give us your comments and your thoughts on it. You know what I'm saying? And tell us, how can you be a woman? You say you're a woman.
Say you're a woman.
And you accept your responsibility. You got kids, the whole 9 yards, but yet and still you will be in a relationship with a man and you will make it hard for him to have a relationship with his own kids. And you agree to him not being there for his own kids. How? How can you do that? And say that I'm a woman of righteousness.
Lies you tell.
The lies you tell. I would not respect a woman that does that to a man that has responsibilities. But yet and still he has to sit in the bed with you. He has to sit in the living room with you. He has to walk around the house talking to you. And your best conversation is how no good your children fathers are. Let's make it make sense. But not one time when you thinking about, but I'm keeping him from being a father to his children. But you'll call your children father and say, oh, you take care of somebody else's children more than you do your own. Really?
Right.
So why you not saying that to the man beside you?
That part.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Call in.
Because you suck if you don't.
Call in. Real women do not approve of that.
No.
That's a no-no.
No. Nor did their parents. Because when my mother was
You know.
here, when my mom bought Christmas, she bought
For
my
everybody.
husband's.
For everybody.
Yeah, she bought my stepkid, everybody. Right. There's no division,
And I have lived that life all my life. To the fact that where I was at a hole to where if I couldn't do for the kids in my house, I couldn't do for my own kids.
That part.
And vice versa. If everybody couldn't get it, nobody
Nobody's
gets it.
getting it. Thank you.
Until we save up and can afford to buy everybody something. Cause see, I was having some 15s and goddamn 18s and 19 children at a time, man. So I had to make some hell of a decisions. I had to make some hell of a compromises. I had to make some hell of a situation issues to where I had to say, okay, I got to sacrifice this to do that. So I've been sacrificing all my life for others. along with me. It's not easy, but if you are a person who's living the genuine, you know, parts of life to be responsible, you have to make sacrifices. You have to make those sacrifices, regardless of what. Those are executive decisions that has to be made. Not saying that, I didn't say that I wanted to make them or I needed to make them. They had to be made. It was no option.
Right.
It was no option. So I want some people to call in, or you can send it on a comment and tell and make me understand how can you be a woman, of that magnitude to say that you want a man that can be there for you and yours, but you don't allow him to be there for his own. Or you are against him being for his own. Y'all a team. What affect you affect him. What affect him supposed to affect you. You're a team. So we gonna, we'll take 3 calls and all the comments y'all want to send in. That narrate that. But other than that, we're gonna keep talking, and we just gotta start being more supportive, man. Because these kids, man, needs parental guidance now, bad. They need it bad, and the only way we can make it, we can make it to where it's acknowledged and make it to where it's actually being shown, and make it to where the people of the systems that our kids are in, not all, I ain't just talking about the correction system. I'm talking about all systems, schools, sports, anything, the corporate America, the whole 9 yards. We got to start making them understand that these are our kids and they know better. They are being raised better. Because you don't want to have people talking about these kids and trying to make it to where they saying that the parents failed. The parents did this and the parents did that. Who the hell can say that? What type of person can actually fix their mouths to even say that? But that, and that also tells you a lot about that person. That, the person who's saying that probably is a person who's living that. They probably living that type of life, so they don't understand. They thinking that is right. They think it's cool. So, just have that conversation. Call the kids' fathers. Have that conversation, man. Fathers call the kids' mothers. Have that conversation. Hey, man, we're going to put aside our differences, and we're going to raise these kids.
Right.
And if she has a man in her life, and he's trying to be supportive of her and help her raise them kids, hey, man, they accept it. Embrace it. Be thankful for that. Don't be against it. Because it's not for you to be against. It's for you to appreciate it. That a man can be around your kids and love them enough to want to be there for them as a father figure. More so than anything. Embrace it. Embrace it. I guarantee you, if you embrace it more than being against it and rebellious to it, you'll feel better. The relationships will be better. The kids will be better. They'll do better. They'll become different. The whole 9 yards. Try it. I guarantee you you'll like it. You'll appreciate it. There's nothing more than I will respect than for a man that's been around my children as a parent in their household to pick up the phone and call me and say, hey, Big Jeff, let me tell you what's going on with your sons or your daughters. I would rather hear it from them. Because mom gonna sugarcoat it. Mom ain't gonna bring you into it until it get to the point to where she tired of dealing with it or tired of trying to figure it out.
That's true.
So it's it's one of those things, man. Well, we gotta be men, gentlemen. We gotta be men about the situation. Because as far as you holding that love grudge, as I call it, hey man, once he have intercourse with her, it's over with. For you.
They want to know what's the call in number.
We about to send the number out.
Okay, hold on a second.
Once she becomes entwined with another man in a relationship, dog, you can't continue to be mad about it. You gotta go on and accept it, man. Especially if you in a household with a woman. How can you be mad at her for being in a relationship and you in one? Cause that's my next question to the men. That's my question to the men. How can you be mad or upset with your children's mother because she finally gets past loving you and she invites another man into her life and you got a problem with it? To where you say this weak shit. I don't want no man around my children. Get your ass out of here. That's hidden love, bro. You really saying to her, to me, when a man say that to a woman, I tell the women who I have dealt with when they children, fathers and shit say that to them, you know what I tell them? I said, well, he just letting you know that he still can't stand to see you with another man. That's basically what he's saying. Because he told you that in a relationship. Now he's living it. Because he, as long as you don't have, think about it, ladies. As long as y'all don't have a man in y'all life that's trying to help you, them baby daddies is cool with that. They cool with that. They can call you and argue with you, upset you, all type of shit, because they know that you not finna have no man around their children. So they controlling the situation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, going home to a woman and her children, or dealing with another woman that has children. But you sitting there trying to respect something that shouldn't even be being respected. Him saying some weak shit like that to you. I don't want no other man around my children, over my children. Shit. Hey man, are you serious? Are you really that much in love with this woman? If that's the case, try to get back with her and marry her. And then you ain't got to worry about that, because she's yours again. Think about the narrative of it. If you want her that bad, snatch her up, take her out the world.
I feel like you should have put a ring on it.
Take out the world. Take her from the world and say she's 100% mine.
Okay. Make it happen.
So you sent the number out?
Nope. He hadn't sent it to me. Hold on.
No. So yeah, we gotta do that, man. We gotta, because the support cast has to be brought back in now in these children's lives. It has to. That's the only way they're gonna find their ways back home. We got to put the breadcrumbs out there so that these kids can find their ways back home because they are lost. They are lost. Instead of having these artists, you know, going to these schools, talking to these kids about gangs and this, that, and the other, which is something that don't even exist or don't even have a, don't it really don't have a factor in the way kids are right now. We put into we getting gang we getting the word gang too much respect in this city. We giving now the word gang in this city has became an excuse for people to do things that they want to do.
Okay, I have that number,
You know,
guys. So the call-in number for you guys to call in is 770-715-1653. Again, that's 770-715-1653. You guys could call in now. We'd love to hear from you.
so we letting the system narrate how our kids are to be classified. And that's sad. That's sad. That's sad on us, and that's sad on the system. Especially when we are knowing as parents that our kids are not what they're trying to punish them to be. So we gotta, but like I say, with that support cast, we can make that go away. I guarantee you we can. We can make that narrative go away.
Yeah.
We can at least take that part out the equation.
Right. And I love too when there's issues. Sometimes I feel like, because like I'll tell the school in a minute, feel free to give the other parent my contact information. Even if they don't want me to have theirs, they can call me because if my child is having a continued dispute with somebody and the school is not addressing it in a timely manner, I will go to the school and I'll ask them to put me in contact with the parents because I feel like if the parents are able to sit down and have a conversation, then you can have your child under control. You can, whatever the situation is, have the students to sit down with each other and work it out. The parents can work things out. So I'm an advocate of exchanging my information with a parent that student may be having issues with my child. I don't mind doing that. I think that's a better resolution than getting the school involved anyway. However, the school has to be involved because it happened at school. But um, you know, one situation that I had where this other student was bullying my child, and then I saw the student and her mother out in the public, and I said, "Excuse me," and I let her know, who I was, and let her know the issues that I was having with her child, and she was livid. She had no earthly idea that her child was even being a little bully at school. And just that one conversation, it ended everything. That there was no longer any bullying at school or any of that. And I feel like because that parent was willing to have a regular conversation with another parent that has some concerns about her child, I think things should be handled that way sometimes. It doesn't always have to be, oh, the school has to do this or do that. Just let the parents have a conversation, and there could
That's
be
right.
an easier resolution.
That's right. So now, now this the one that I say the best for the last. you know, and that is men who have been chosen, as I say. You have been that chosen parent from that mother to say that this is your child. And as long as the relationship is good, that's your child. But as soon as y'all decide that, the relationship, ain't working, we might need to make some arrangements, or, we might need to sit down and talk about, how we gonna go with this relationship and this, that, and the third. Or you get caught, one of y'all get caught doing the mischief, and the relationship ends. And now the child ain't yours. If you feel that way after the relationship, you felt like that during the relationship. Now that the relationship has ended, you can say it. So saying that to say this, as a supportive parent, if you feel like that when the relationship is over, but you still have love for this child because this is your child, or you feel like this was your child at one point, this, that, and the third, don't hesitate. Go take the DNA.
Uh-oh.
Be sure.
Right.
Because evidently you're not sure. But as long as you're in a relationship, you sure. But you got doubt in the relationship. And there's a reason for you to have that doubt. But at least you were being supportive. So don't let it stop. If you really feel like that in a relationship, hey man, get the blood test during the relationship. I always have made it known to my kids, girls and boys. With my girls, I tell my girls, tell the baby daddies, you want a blood test when you have the baby.
I think it should be mandatory.
You understand? Because I think it should be mandatory. Hey, sons, tell the girl you want a blood test. I don't care if you're sleeping beside her. And it's because of that.
It kills doubt
only
at the beginning, right?
You understand? So now, see, my daughters, I protect them because now, when the relationship ends, he can't say it ain't mine because he in his feelings. Now he can say it, but in his heart, he know he telling a damn lie because it was proven. You understand what I'm saying? And it was proven during the time that the relationship was good. So now so now, hey man, you can go out there and tell the whole world the children ain't yours. But I guarantee you, they gonna see in the end that you gotta take care of them.
Okay.
And even if you decide not to take care of them, whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-doo. It is what it is. Can't nobody make you take care of your child if you don't want to. That's something you got to be wanting to do. That's something that's got to be in you. You got to take as part of your responsibility. So, it's hands down. That's what got to be done. So when she decide to invite another man in her life that's actually with her, and then he become for her, you got to accept it, brother. You got to embrace it. Anytime a man walk into a ready-made household and accept the responsibility, you can't do nothing but give him his props. You can't do nothing else but give him his props. It's no in between right there.
Right.
Because he didn't have to do that. He could have said, "Wait, babe, I'm going to stay in my own and you stay in your own and we'll just date until we feel like it's the relationship had gotten to that point to where we want to do this." And then when we do that, we trying to go across the altar. That's how it can go.
Peace all the time. Did you get that number? Did you still need to call? Did you still want to call in? I'm going to give you the number one more time in case you missed it. The call-in number is -770-715-1653.
That's 770-715-1653. That's the call in number, for the show. 770-715-1653. So yeah, so to you guys who has that type of mindset, that's the answer to you. That's the answer to your truth. Make sure it's yours. Then when the relationship ends, you won't have to use that excuse to try to piss her off. Cause that's all you're doing. Cause you know better. Y'all be knowing better. So the shit sound good. It look good on paper, but it don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. The mic still ain't on. So we got a caller that done called in. All right, caller, you on the air. Give us your name and tell us what you think.
Okay, my name is Stephanie. Hey, Big Jeff. Hey, Shanita. How y'all doing today?
We doing okay. How about you? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. The reason I'm calling is I love this conversation.
Hold on 1 second. What's your name?
Okay. Stephanie.
Stephanie, okay. Stephanie, where you from?
I'm from Edenton, Georgia, but I live in Atlanta.
Okay, that's what's happening. Edenton, Georgia. Stephanie from Edenton, Georgia, y'all. Let's go, Stephanie. Let's get to us.
Okay, as far as being a woman, I would never date a man who actually doesn't have a relationship with his kid. I used to date a guy about 10 years ago, and he didn't have a relationship with his kids. So I told him either he try to get a relationship with his kid, or I couldn't date him because I don't believe in that.
Okay.
And another comment that I want to make is I think about Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's a kid that I had, association with.
And Ant-Man, I think about, his daughter that he has with this woman where he gave up all the rights. He paid the child support and said he didn't want anything to do with a child. I have no respect for a man that would do that to his child. And the woman that he with don't want her kids to know their own sibling. I have no respect for them because the bottom line is kids don't ask to come here.
That's
All
right.
they want to do is be loved by both their parents.
That's right.
They don't care whether they together. They just want to be loved by both of them.
That's right.
That's the way I feel about it.
And I do you have any kids?
I do. I have one son and I have two grandkids.
Okay, how old is your son?
My son is 44.
Oh, okay. He's a man. He's
Yeah,
a grown man.
Yeah.
He's a grown man.
He's a grown man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, was it a relationship with his father?
Oh no, it wasn't a relationship with his father. No.
Okay.
It was a guy that I dated, like I said, about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And he didn't have a relationship with he had two daughters.
Okay.
And one of them, he said he didn't know where she was. I told him, well, you're going to have to find her if you want to date me. Because I just can't do it. You're not going to, be a part of me and my grandchildren's life and not be a part of your own kids' life. That makes no sense to me.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
So now was his kids in the same city he was in?
One of them was, and the other one wasn't.
Okay, so he should have been able to, contact somebody,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
I'm not trying to make an excuse for him because, I have never been that type of father. You know what I'm saying? I have never, even when I left home at 13 with a family,
Right.
I've never had that type of mindset. So,
Oh, okay.
that's why I say I'm strongly against men who actually allows a woman or takes upon themselves to separate themselves from their children because
I agree
of
with that totally.
relationship issues, this, that, and the third. So I respect that. You know what I'm saying? And as far as Anthony Edwards, I'm so, me knowing him,
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked to hear you say that about him. Honestly, I'm shocked. You know, from me knowing him and knowing what he come from, I'm actually shocked by you saying that he did something like that. You know what I'm
Well, he
saying?
did. It's all been
No,
through
no.
social
I'm
media,
just
but
no. I'm not.
and I just
I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying that to me, people who know him
right.
wouldn't expect that of him.
Yeah,
You feel what I'm saying?
I know somebody who
You know.
knows him, and her son grew up with him, and she's in disbelief over it too.
Yeah, yeah. Cause see,
Yeah.
I know the person that partially raised him.
Okay.
You feel what
Okay.
I'm saying? So we probably talking about the same person. You know,
Right.
and the man of that situation is a close friend of mine.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? To where we coached together the whole 9 yards.
Right.
So that's why to hear him say that, knowing that he had been a part of a family like that,
Right.
that's
Well,
shocking to me.
I'm kind of mad with the woman that he does
He
have
does,
a baby
yeah,
with as
definitely.
well, because why would you
Definitely.
not want your kid to
To
know
know their
their
siblings.
siblings?
That's
That
right.
doesn't make sense
That's
to
right.
me.
And
That
you
doesn't make
there you
sense.
go. But we got women, and sometimes Stephanie, me being a man who have raised 50 some odd kids,
Mhm.
sometimes it comes down, it be to where women be selfish according to the situation that they're in.
Right.
And
Right.
this could be one of those situations. She's dealing with a young man who's successful, who's rich,
Right.
this, that, and the third. So her knowing that it's somebody that could possibly replace her, which is his children. You feel what I'm
Well,
saying?
Big
Could
Jeff,
be a threat to her.
Big Jeff, with all due respect,
Yeah.
he has 3 kids. When you choose
Yeah.
to say, one of them,
One of them I'm gonna
pay you all
disown.
the child
Yeah,
support
one
up
one of
front.
them disown. And
Huh?
you saying out of those 3, one of them gonna disown.
Well, you're
You
right.
know.
He chose to disown one, right?
Yeah.
Not disown. He chose to pay the child
No,
support all
that's
up front.
disowning, baby. That's disowning.
Well, yeah.
You don't want to have nothing to do with a child.
Right.
You know.
I agree.
So
that's true.
Did you hear the second question that I asked?
You said, did he disown him?
No, I
Own.
said, did you hear the second question I asked on the show about on the men's side? Okay,
No.
that question was, and how can you be a man
Mm-hmm.
and deal with a woman, be in a relationship with a woman, y'all conceive a child together, and as long as you and that woman is together in that relationship, the child is yours to you.
Right.
But as soon as the relationship ends, now you are saying the child ain't mine. You disown the children. So now
Right.
and my theme to that was during the relationship, you had to have that same mindset.
Right.
You had to have some type of thought for you to say that.
You
feel
right.
what I'm saying? So during the relationship, while everything is on the good,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? Have a blood test. Convince yourself.
Right.
And-
I mean, I agree with that. Now, when you say that, it should be a law.
Thank you. It should be mandatory that a man
Right.
take a
It should
blood
be
test.
mandatory. It should be mandatory. That way, kids don't find out. They might end up dating their own sister or brother.
And I'm even go deeper than that. Because you as a woman, you conceive a child with a man. You know, if you done been in multiple relationships or you ain't been in that many relationships, and you not, but a child has been produced in it.
Right.
And you have girlfriends who you are close with, and they have went through issues with men some kind of way down the line throughout your growth of becoming a young woman to an adult. You have heard one of your girlfriends or somebody say, he say my child ain't his.
Well, I know about
You
that
feel what
because
I'm saying?
my own baby father said the same thing.
So guess
But
what? I told my daughters. I said this earlier. After I said that question. I have told my daughters and my sons. I raised them on that. If you go out here and you wind up getting pregnant by a man, tell him you want a blood test for his child.
right,
You understand? If my sons, same thing. Tell the girl, I don't care if you sleep beside her 20 years and she get pregnant. We're gonna get a blood test for this child. And it's not to offend you. It's
right,
to keep us from having to go through, it ain't mine. It's to keep us from
right,
having to go through, okay, I ain't gonna this, that, and the other cause you did this, that, and the third.
right,
You
right,
understand? You know, and I was like that myself. I had blood tests with my children and I was sleeping with their mothers. But they weren't offended by it because I
right,
was
right.
able to tell them the narrative of it.
Right. If you are
I'm
being
with
honest,
You
you
know,
shouldn't be
so
offended.
you know
right, exactly. You're right.
you know so
You shouldn't be.
he should be made to take a blood test. And guess what?
Right,
Evidently, he already have done that because he paid the child support off.
right. Well, I had to find out before my child was born because I have negative blood.
Okay.
So to make sure
Okay.
that my child wouldn't have to have a blood
Transfusion, yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So I
Yeah.
had to find out before anyway, which I knew
Yeah.
who it was anyway. But yeah,
And,
that's how.
and people shouldn't, I've always had a problem with people people being offended by that. Why
Right.
would you be offended by proof?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just like telling me, I don't want you to tell me the truth. I want you to just keep lying to me. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? I don't want to know the truth about my life.
Yeah.
I don't
You
want to
right.
know the truth about who's involved in my life. I don't want to know the truth about who's a part of my life.
Right.
You know.
I get it.
So you know what I'm saying? So I don't have a respect for neither side like that.
Oh, I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad you called in though, and you always welcome to come to the show. We have an open show. The show is shot
Okay.
live. So if do you reside in Atlanta?
Yeah, I live out in
Okay.
Lithonia. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So but we shoot the show right here off of Gresham Road. So you
Oh,
welcome.
really?
Yeah, you welcome to come in and sit in on the conversations and the shows and but when you come to this show, you become the host of the show.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Well, I'll tell nothing but the truth.
nothing but the truth.
I'll definitely do
You
that.
understand? So we are at 2339 Brandon Road.
23 what now?
39 Brandon Road, Brannn
Okay.
Road. If you familiar with Gresham Road, off of 20,
Yeah.
we are on the access road. We're on the access part of Gresham Road.
Okay.
If you come in 20
Or
east,
downtown.
yeah, if you come in 20 east from downtown, when you get off on
20, I'm on 20 west.
okay, when you get off on Gresham,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna go through the light and go to and come back down Gresham, like coming off 20 East.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And we matter of fact, you know where the Walmart at.
I know where the Walmart
Okay,
is.
when you if you come out of Walmart and make that right to go get on 20 East,
Mm-hmm.
okay, instead of getting on the highway, that's the access road.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
located right there before you get to the Georgia Power Building. If you go to Georgia Power Building, you went too far. We the first driveway behind the gas station.
Okay.
That's where
All
we
right.
shoot at. Yeah. So
Okay.
and and anytime, we do it Friday. We come on Friday at 7:00.
At 7.
At 7. We try to make sure everybody done got home safe and this, that, and the other.
Right.
And just be comfortable and we have a conversation.
All righty. All
You know,
right.
and
I
it-
like good conversation.
Yeah, and there's nothing we won't talk about.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So it's
I'm gonna
nothing
take
we.
y'all up on that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
do that.
take y'all
Do
up.
that, man. And you can pass it around to your friends and let them know, man. And you can always call in on the show. We try to read the comments and answer comments sometime, this, that, and other. So we're gonna
Right.
start doing a show to where it's we just gonna ask questions. We just gonna answer questions, and it can be from any show.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah. So we
Okay.
that's what we do. That's what this show is about, man. We trying to give the people the real of the world.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I
So
believe in keeping it real, 100 raw, uncut.
there you go.
Telling the truth. Sometimes people get feelings get hurt by the truth,
They'll
but
be all right.
at some point they get over it. So,
You
hey.
you all. How long have you been listening to our show?
I've been listening to it ever since the trial.
Try
I've been
okay.
listening to
So
it.
you have heard.
Oh, yeah.
So you have heard Big Jeff talk about how much I love metaphors.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I,
So,
yes.
so
I listen to you and Shanita both, and I
Yeah.
like sometimes when y'all do disagree,
Oh
but
yeah.
at the same time, I know it's in good spirits,
That's
and
right. We're
I love
supposed to.
that.
But see, that's being real.
All right, absolutely,
Hey man, we
absolutely.
gon' we gonna give you the truth. And
Right,
sometimes we accept people
right,
coming in to give their opinion because that's all we're doing. We're speaking opinions.
exactly, exactly.
You know. So yeah, so Stephanie, you're always welcome to the show, and we appreciate you calling in, sweetheart. So and we really appreciate you listening to our show.
All right,
All
thank
right,
you,
all
and
right,
y'all have a good evening.
all right, you too.
All right, bye
All right,
bye.
yeah. So we gonna so we want to thank Stephanie for calling in. And that's what we like. That's what we like here on this show, man. And we like I say, we've been saying since last year, we're gonna do a whole lot better this year, and we're gonna add some things to the show, and we got a I got a special song I wanna play. I got a special song I wanna play. And hopefully my producer can come in so we can get him the name of the song. And the song that we're going to play is a song that I love. I love this song because this song, the video of this song, it shows you connection. And this is part of why I want to play this song for this show. you know. And Darius. So we gonna end the show in a few minutes when we get the song uploaded, and hopefully everybody will enjoy this song as much as I do. And when I say I enjoy it, I enjoy it. So guys, men, ladies, you know, we wanna put everybody on. Let's start coming together and making things right. SZA snooze. So yeah, we just gonna I want y'all to make better connections, man, with the kids' mothers, and mothers, y'all make connections with the kids' fathers, and have the conversation, man, and everybody just be real. Just be real about the situation. And I'm saying this to the strength of where I would, it can be to where y'all, resolve y'all differences, cause that's what the problem is. Y'all can't resolve your differences because y'all still have hidden love for each other, and you supposed to because y'all are sharing something together. Y'all have a bond, but at the same time, stop using it for a crutch. to hinder each other. You know, stop using it as a weapon to make each other's lives miserable, and start using it for a positive note to bring togetherness, to bring y'all together to where, regardless of what denomination you are, y'all still are on the same team. So we're gonna end the show with this song, and I hope everybody can take this song and run with it because it's a real togetherness song to me. That's my opinion, and it really, me seeing the video made me see a lot of togetherness in this song. So that's why I want to play this song tonight. So this is Big Jeff coming to you live from No Days Off Production with the #1 show in the land. Nothing but the truth. And we out.